Get the forecast from Eric Fisher, weeknights on WBZ News.
Now at noon, new video of the Wooster Tornado, the twister tearing through the city, downing trees and power lines. Plus, RDT shaking hands and saying thanks. Market Basket CEO making sure customers and employees know how grateful he is for their support. And a celebrity chef with close ties to Boston under arrest. Todd English has a brush with the law.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at Noon starts right now.
We have breaking news at noon, a deadly plane crash in Hampton, New Hampshire. This is right where the Northampton airfield is on Lafayette Road, Hampton. Fire officials tell us that both people on board the Cessna 180 were killed. The plane crashed right after taking off. Emergency crews are on the scene and Sky Eye is on the way. As soon as we have more information for you, we will bring it to you. Trees down on cars, power lines, and on the ground. A major cleanup effort is underway this noon after a tornado touched down in Worcester. Good afternoon, I'm Kathryn Hauser. The storm happened around 8:15 last night. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but this video from a rooftop camera on a Worcester home shows that storm moving in and the debris flying through the air. We have live team coverage for you with Ken McLeod and meteorologist Danielle Niles. But first, we start with David Robichaux live in Worcester. Hi, Roby.
Hi, Kathryn. We're on Fairmont Avenue in the path, the 1.7-mile path of destruction. Take a look at this house behind me right here. There's an elderly woman that lives here. Her family just arrived to try to help her out. She can't get in and out of her front door. She has to go out the back. They're going to try to remove this tree as soon as they can. And you look all around this neighborhood in Worcester, and you'll see pretty much the same thing.
That was pretty wild, man.
Pat Courtney's Vernon Hill house got hit hard. Broken windows, porch roof ripped off, wife's car buried under debris, uprooted tree crashed into his property.
Me and my wife were yelling, running around the house screaming for the kids, and you know, like it's like a movie scene, you know, like get the kids. Get, you know?
Homeowners were busy cleaning up while tree companies assisted the power people. Several telephone poles snapped, bringing down wires. We saw many cars smashed under the weight of trees. The not-so-lucky guy with the lucky shirt owns this one. Gary Strong was picking small branches off his vehicle. His neighbors' cars were trashed, including this Mercedes windshield. And even though Gary's car was under all this, so your car was under all those limbs right there, but not much of even a scratch on it.
No, not even a scratch. No. We were fortunate.
Fortunate was perhaps the word of the day. Worcester City Manager Ed Augustus, who toured the neighborhoods, told me the city was phenomenally lucky there wasn't more damage. Back out live now. Now, Worcester residents are being told by the city, if you want to clear these trees, you have to get a certified tree person to do it because of the Asian longhorn beetle infestation. Now, see those wires that are running behind the houses? Decades ago, they made a decision not to put the wires on the main streets. It was an aesthetic thing. So all the wires, 85% of them, are behind people's houses. That's where all the trees are, and that's what happens when they fall down. Live in Worcester, I'm David Robichaux. Back to you, Kathryn.
Thank you very much, Roby. That tornado left a path of damage more than 1.5 miles long. In the middle of it all, a man who survived the June 2011 tornado in Munson. Well, he in fact just moved to Worcester right after that storm. Ken McLeod is live in Worcester as well with his story. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Kathryn. How you doing? You know, when that twister formed last night doing this damage, Michael Rocher was at his computer in his house on nearby Cargill Avenue. Now, he's a spotter with the National Weather Service, but you can forgive him if he suffered from a few flashbacks.
The large camera pointing.
As Michael Rocher showed us the weather cameras mounted on his Worcester roof, memories of his Munson nightmare were close at hand.
It wasn't until my daughter was screaming there's a tornado in the backyard and we saw it that we had 10 seconds to get to the basement.
This was his Munson home before that twister 3 years ago. Here it is afterward. His injuries then sparked an interest in early warning, and he became a Skywarn spotter for the National Weather Service, which brings us to last night at about 10 after 8.
And all of a sudden, 2 out of the 3 cats in the living room bolted for the kitchen, which was reminiscent of Munson. And then all of a sudden, across the roof, debris starts coming.
That is the sound of an EF0 tornado churning just 2 blocks away as Michael scrambled to the relative safety of his kitchen.
It's a rumbling. The pressure in the air changes. You can feel it in your head, and you just wait.
The weak twister made a 1.7-mile trek up Vernon Hill away from Michael, staying on the ground a few minutes and snapping plenty of trees.
About 4 minutes after the tornado had passed and the winds had started to die down was when my National Weather Service radio went off saying tornado warning. And I'm like, no kidding.
Indeed, amid great strides in identifying the dangers of developing storms, last night is a great example of why Michael became a spotter for the National Weather Service. It was not Munson again, but it was a chance to learn.
My hopes are that with watching these things sometime down the road, we can improve notification more locally, not getting the warning 4 minutes after it's passed.
Michael Rocher points out that a tornado warning means it is time to seek cover, not go outside and take a peek. He says he saw several folks doing exactly that last night. He also points out to the common belief that tornadoes don't strike New England, and he thinks that's something we should scrap given the fact we've had 3 in Massachusetts in the last 3 years. Live in Worcester this noon, Cloud, WBZ News. Kathryn, let's go back to you.
All right, thank you, Ken. What a story there. Meteorologist Danielle Niles is here with me. And Danielle, we're expecting some more storms today, but nothing as severe as what we just saw.
Right. I mean, obviously that was an isolated occurrence, but that was a great story. Just the reasoning to get in the basement, get in your safe spot when a warning is issued.
And the images to have the video of it to kind of see the winds whipping.
Absolutely.
And just the debris and everything.
Yes, definitely. And you can feel the heat and humidity in the air. So there will be more thunderstorms today, not as severe as yesterday. There will be a few that pop this afternoon, though, and I'm going to take you through the timing of those in just a second. 84 in Boston right now. Same in Taunton. You can see where it's cooler, and that's because we have some clouds. We're in the 70s on the Cape. We had some morning fog, but the dew points are in the upper 60s and lower 70s. So the air mass has a lot of moisture with it. You can feel the humidity as you step outside. We've had a couple of showers and clouds, yes, on the Cape. A couple that just clipped Chatham about an hour ago. And we're starting to see some of those puffy cumulus clouds in the sky. Temperatures come up by a few more degrees this afternoon. It's obviously humid. Pop-up thunderstorms, the biggest threat will be south of the Mass Pike, particularly in Bristol and Plymouth County, down to the Cape, where that most humid air is between now and 6 p.m. Obviously, in your just typical summertime thunderstorms, downpours, lightning, some brief wind gusts will be possible. I'm not expecting any severe weather like yesterday, but a couple of these, of course, could cause some localized flooding and some ponding of water on the roadways and the heaviest downpours. They actually wrap up later on this evening. The skies have become partly cloudy tonight, and a little bit of patchy fog redevelops. It'll stay muggy and uncomfortable for sleeping, with temperatures right around 70 degrees overnight tonight. There will be a few more storms tomorrow. We're going to talk more about those, Kathryn, coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, Danielle, thank you very much. And of course, this is a good reminder for you to stay on top of these storms with our CBS Boston weather app. You can get hour-by-hour forecasts. You can check out interactive maps as well. Even share your pictures with us with the weather team. You can find it right on cbsboston.com. New at noon, deadly crash in Methuen. Emergency crews rushed to the scene on Route 113 near Moody Street this morning to discover a car had hit a pole. One person was killed, another suffered a serious injury. Police say while the cause of this accident is still under investigation, they want to remind you that it is never safe to text and drive. A very big thank you today from Arthur T. Demoulas to all of the Market Basket customers who helped him get his old job back. And the supermarket CEO spent part of the morning inside a store talking with shoppers and employees. Bree Season is live at Market Basket in Chelsea. Hi, Bree.
Hey, good afternoon, Kathryn. RDT told me his first order of business was getting back to business, getting all of the stores back up and running like they should be. But he says that will come after he hands out about 1 million thank yous to all the employees who believed in the work culture that Market Basket has created over the past 97 years. He says preserving that family environment is key, and that keeping prices low for customers might require putting some store openings on hold.
We plan to be as efficient and as productive as a company and an organization as ever, and try to make that better all the time. We'll be working very closely with all of our tremendous vendors and suppliers throughout the region and the country and the world that have always supported our organization in a tremendous way to get better deals and lower cost of goods.
Mr. DeMula says there are 5 stores that could legitimately be open by the end of the year, but he says he might have to cut down to just 2 or 3 openings. At the top of that list, though, is the Revere location. That's the latest from Chelsea Breezy in WBZ News. Kathryn, back to you.
Thank you very much, Bree. Big name celebrities hacked. Coming up, the fallout from nude photos posted on social media. Plus, tackling the Ebola outbreak, the extreme measure one country is taking to help health officials get the potentially deadly disease under control. And it's happened again. A woman assaulted on Alston Street. What she did that prompted the man to run away.
Well, I'm not saying goodbye. Wednesday's Child is going to continue. You know, it's time for me to try some new chapters in my life. Well, I've loved BZ for all the time I've been here since the spring of 1975. I've met some wonderful people. This is my family. My whole life, I always look forward to coming to work. There's nothing like New England. It's a great region. Can't beat it. I'd just like to say thank you to the people in New England. You have been wonderful to me and to my family. This really always will be home.
Welcome back. Boston police are trying to figure out if a sexual assault in Alston is linked to a series of other attacks. A woman told police she was walking near Pratt and Ashford Streets early yesterday morning when someone approached her from behind. She screamed. The man ran off, and this is the 3rd sexual assault in the area just in the past 2 weeks alone. The U.S. military just hit ISIS with more airstrikes. Over the weekend, Iraqi officials say security forces, along with U.S. help, ended the Islamist militants' 2-month siege of Amirli. The terror group had trapped about 15,000 people. Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling for immediate talks with Ukraine. The move comes after the European Union leaders met for a summit to talk about how new economic sanctions against Russia. Pro-Russian separatists have been fighting the Ukrainian government for months. Some politicians say Europe and the U.S. should give Ukrainian arms to help them defend themselves. Liberia's president is trying to prevent the spread of Ebola. He just ordered most civil servants to stay home for a month while promising they will still be paid. The nation's schools are closed. Health officials are trying to keep large groups of people from gathering, making it more difficult for the disease to spread. A teenager is in critical condition after falling from a carnival ride in El Paso, Texas. Witnesses say 2 teens fell nearly 30 feet to the ground. One suffered only minor injuries. Amazingly, police say a 3rd person had to be rescued from the ride. Inspectors are now trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. We all know breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it can also be one of the more expensive ones. Straight ahead, what you're paying, why you're paying for more for breakfast this year.
And the heat is on. Temperatures are soaring well into the 80s as of midday, all the way up and down the East Coast. I'll let you know how long it's going to stick around and when will turn less humid as well. Your forecast is coming up.
Football starts here. Thursday Night Football comes to NFL Network and CBS.
This just in, Rob Gronkowski says he will play in Sunday's season opener in Miami. The Patriots tight end sat out half of last season with injuries, but has participated in training camp over the past few weeks. He hasn't played in any preseason games. Gronk and the Pats face off against the Dolphins on Sunday at 1 o'clock right here on WBZ. Celebrity chef Todd English is out of jail and in some trouble. Police in Southampton, New York arrested him early yesterday morning on drunk driving charges. This is his booking photo you're looking at. English operates several restaurants here in Boston. He is free on $1,500 cash bail. It is the end of an era in Atlantic City. The Showboat Casino closed its doors this weekend after 27 years on the boardwalk in New Jersey. Nearly 2,000 employees are now out of a job. This is the first of 3 casinos slated to shut down for good in Atlantic City. The Revel Casino, which had been open for only 2 years, closed its hotel today. The casino closes at 6 tomorrow morning. Hackers just stole nude photos of several big-name celebrities and then posted them on social media. Among the victims, Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence and model Kate Upton. Lawrence's spokesman confirmed those pictures are authentic and demanded those responsible be prosecuted. Upton's attorney called the breach an outrageous violation of her privacy and pledged to go after anyone spreading those pictures illegally. Yeah, not good. Right?
No, not a good thing
To think about, right?
No kidding.
Get into your phone,
Yeah.
see what's there, but hopefully they'll find them.
Yes.
We got to get a check of the weather today. Talk about just a busy news day, busy weather day. It's been kind of crazy.
There's a lot going on. I mean, it's the last, unofficial day of summer,
Right.
air quotes here. And, we're talking about heat and humidity that's in the forecast for several days.
Okay.
So we've been kind of hanging on to summer here, and we're going to try to do that. The month of August wrapped up, and it was actually a little bit below average in terms of temperatures. In Boston, we averaged 70.8 degrees. That's a little over a degree cooler than the normal. Precipitation, it was actually pretty dry. We had 1.75 inches of rain in Boston. That's actually over 1.5 inches under where we should be for the month. Obviously, some notable events was August 27th was the only 90-degree day in Boston. We hit 91, actually. But if you can believe it, last August, we had 0 90-degree days. July was the really hot month. And then, of course, the Worcester tornado that happened last evening is going to go down as one of the notable events for the month as well. Now, we've hit September, and here's a little preview. Average high temperatures go from 77 to 67 by the end of the month. The night sky, we're going to watch out for the supermoon on September 8th. So a week from today, the full harvest moon at 9:38 p.m. And fall begins with the autumnal equinox on September 22nd at 10:29. Not feeling like fall out there right now, though. 84 in Boston, same in Nashua and Taunton. Where we have more clouds, we're cooler. We're in the 70s, but it is sticky. You can cut the humidity with a knife, particularly on the Cape where dew points are in the lower 70s. And we've had a couple showers that have been clipping Chatham and now moving off to the east. There's another front that's coming through the Midwest. It signals the drier air. Dew points drop into the 50s behind this front, and that fresher, drier air mass will move in for the middle part of the week. So in the meantime, still a spotty storm is possible south of the Pike between now and early evening. Tonight, we get some clouds and patchy fog that fills in. It'll take a little bit of time to burn off tomorrow. Hazy, hot, and humid with scattered thunderstorms north and west of Boston tomorrow. And then the cold front comes in Tuesday night. By Wednesday, sun shines back out. It is still going to be warm on Wednesday, but the drier air moves in, so it'll be much more comfortable in terms of humidity levels. Let's take you through the kind of closer up here to time out thunderstorms today. South of the Pike, look at this. Don't focus on the exact placement, but get the idea here that any storms that develop, especially over Bristol and Plymouth County, Cape, between, I'd say, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., could contain some locally heavy rainfall, some lightning, some brief gusty wind. Don't have to cancel your outdoor plans, but keep in mind when thunder roars, go indoors. You want to have that backup plan to seek shelter should a storm head your way. Tonight, the clouds move in. Tomorrow, maybe a spotty shower or downpour even as early as noontime. Then we get scattered showers and storms. The focus tomorrow, mainly north and west of Boston from mid-afternoon into the early evening. Some storms tomorrow could be on the feisty side if they get a little energy that comes in. It's going to be hot and humid, so we're going to be tracking the radar closely late afternoon and early evening tomorrow as well. Overnight tonight, 70 in Boston, upper 60s in the suburbs, so it will be pretty uncomfortable for sleeping. It's 85 to 90 degrees by the time we get to tomorrow. A lot of us back to reality, back to work, back to school, and it's feeling like summer this week. Less humid, but still warm on Wednesday. Beautiful day on Thursday. Still warm, 85, but a lot of sunshine. Turning a little more humid again to end the week. Couple pop-up thunderstorms possible Friday evening. And a few of those may linger into the start of the weekend, but the overall trend is drier weather and cooling temperatures in the 70s by Sunday. Kathryn, over to you.
Okay, Danielle, thank you very much. On today's Fresh Grocer, Tony Tantillo shows us a fruit we don't often think of in the summer.
Well, today's type of days will be with lychee fruit. They're still in the market. The window's getting smaller. They'll be around for 2 or 3 weeks more, and then you gotta wait a while for the crop to come in. And I love lychee fruit in so many different recipes, or just peel them and eat them out of hand. But you gotta select them, and you gotta store them right, or otherwise they're not gonna taste good at all. Let's talk about selection. When you buy your lychee fruit, make sure they're nice and red. And when you bring them home in the refrigerator, at room temperature, they'll start to darken up and lose some of that vibrant color. So like I said, when you bring them home, in the refrigerator. Best way to enjoy them is simply take out the small peel right here. You see this? Now they got big pits, and these are from Mexico, so the pit's a little bit bigger than the ones from Florida. You just peel this, just like this, and enjoy the fruit that's inside. But like I said, the pits are pretty big, so don't just pop in your mouth and chew into it. You may lose a tooth. Lychee fruit, delicious. So sweet, it's like eating sugar. And I'm Tony Tantillo, your Fresh Grocer, and always remember to eat fresh and stay healthy.
You can catch the Fresh Grocer every day, only on WBZ News at noon. Did you have a good breakfast this morning? And did you pay more for it? Analysts say that the drought out west is boosting the prices of milk, dairy, fruits, veggies, and coffee. This year, Maxwell House, Folgers, and Starbucks raised prices by as much as 10%. Bacon is at a 30-year high, and orange juice prices aren't much better. The only breakfast staple that probably won't see a price increase is cereal. That's because corn production this year is up. Well, his story inspired the world to donate more than $100 million to help find a cure for ALS. When we return, another huge milestone for the former Boston College baseball player Pete Frates. And here's a look at what's hot on our website, cbsboston.com right now.
Tony Tantillo, brought to you by Colavita, America's #1 selling Italian extra virgin olive oil.
Everyone here at WBZ is excited about Thursday nights this fall.
Show off.
Football starts here. Thursday night football comes to WBZ. Show me what you got for me.
Get a fresh start to the morning. Kathryn Hauser and Danielle Niles, the new morning news team on WBZ. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
It's a baby girl for former Boston College baseball player Pete Frates and his wife. Frates is the inspiration behind the wildly successful ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Lucy Fitzgerald Frates made her debut yesterday morning. She weighs just about almost 8 pounds. Is 19.5 inches long. Both mom and dad and baby are doing just fine. So good for them. Congratulations. Beautiful baby girl. And to think of just the difference that Ice Bucket Challenge has made. You know, you kind of wondered, what is this really doing? $100 million.
Oh, it took off, and happy for them about that, you know.
So congratulations.
Hot and humid today.
Yes.
You feel it right when you get outside.
Yes, you do.
Couple of pop-up storms between now and early evening, mainly Bristol, Plymouth County. Keep an eye on the sky. We'll have some scattered thunderstorms north and west of Boston tomorrow. Warm right onto the 7-day. Less humid by Wednesday.
Okay, thank you, Gideon. Be sure to join us for our next newscast tonight at 6. This is going to be after the U.S. Open tennis. And remember, WBZ is always on the web. Log on to cbs.com for updates throughout the day.